Now that AHA Airlines is bankrupt, there are two new airlines left in the US, Avelo and Breeze. These two I actually thought would make it though, and I still do. Breeze especially has the capacity to expand and a really good business model in my opinion to do well in the US. So today, I'm taking another flight with them, this time a slightly more normal experience. So let's head to the airport. Unlike a few months ago when I flew Breeze's inaugural on their E195, today I'll be flying their E190 down to Charleston, South Carolina, which promises to have a totally different cabin interior, so I'm quite excited to check it out. Checking in for Breeze can be done either at the airport or online. I'd highly recommend online, but since the airline was still pretty new at the time this was shot, I decided just to make sure I was good with my mobile boarding pass, and turns out the scanners at the gate were broken. So because of that, they printed out a paper one for me instead. And then it was down to the security checkpoint, which was pretty empty today. On a short minute people mover ride to the airside terminal, up the escalators, and into Pitt's Air Mall. Pretty typical day here inside Pittsburgh International Airport. Not a ton of people, but at the time airlines were still pretty stingy with adding more flights here due to mostly crew shortages, and it's gotten a little better since then, but now with more routes, there's still crew shortages. This subject could honestly have its own separate video, so for now, after grabbing a drink, I'm heading to my gate this afternoon, D84.
On your flight to Charleston, you will be using the bathroom in the rear of the plane. So when the plane arrives, we're hoping it arrives around 5 o'clock this afternoon. We will quickly get our guests off of the plane, and then we will quickly clean the plane. And our goal is to get you boarded as fast as we can because we know you're excited to get to Charleston.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, a broken sink is the cause of the delay. It would not stop running, but luckily that's not enough to stop a flight from happening. So roughly 20 minutes late, our Breeze E190 appeared out ahead, and the turnaround time would be extremely quick. The aircraft we'll be flying on for the short hop to South Carolina will be N126BZ, a November 2007 built Embraer 190 that first flew for Air Canada until July of 2020 when it became part of Nordic aviation capital. Breeze acquired the plane in July of 2021, the very month this video was shot. Like I said, turnaround time was super quick. And big shout out to the gate agents here at Pitt. They genuinely were sorry for the delay and seemed extremely excited to be a part of the Breeze team. Very nice folks here.
Hello.
Okay. All right, and we have Christopher?
Yep.
Without the R?
No, there's an R.
I know, but it doesn't print out, that's why.
I know.
Enjoy your flight.
Thanks. How are you? Look.
Going along the lines of friendliness, the crew on board this flight were all super chill. There's just a different feeling with flying Breeze. It's really new and fresh. And speaking of fresh, this cabin is actually the new Breeze hard product, not what's on their E195s. The seats with a red trim are considered nicer seats, meaning they have extra legroom and cost more. The seats with a yellow trim are nice seats, the standard legroom seats. I will be in 18A today, at least for now, which is a nice seat. Okay, I think if you guys saw my inaugural video, these obviously look less comfortable, and they are. The Breeze E195 is honestly very reminiscent of JetBlue's amazing E190s. These are quite different, sleeker, but slimmer. They do still surprisingly have recline though, which is not found much on slimline seats, and as this is technically an ultra low cost carrier, legroom is on the tighter side, but it could be much worse. The seat back pocket underneath contains two, actually, a larger and smaller one. Moving up is of course the tray table, and then a tablet/phone holder, another very cool feature on Breeze. The safety card is located in a small literature slot up above that.
Apologize for running a little bit late. We had a sink that ended up being a problem up here in the lavatory, so it's what we call deferred. We have an allowance to operate without it. It's a heater down below on the bottom of the fuselage where the water goes out. Quit working on us, and so it would create icicles if we didn't stop it. So anyway, took some time to do that, and Charleston earlier, and it's all fixed up, or deferred now. The lavatory still works, not the sink. We do have hand sanitizer in there for you. 1 hour, 7 minutes is the flight time, takeoff to landing. Fairly short flight going down there, and the weather looks pretty nice down there. We'll get a few bumps here to climb, just descents, that's typical summertime. And otherwise we'll try to find you a smooth ride. Charleston's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, perfect sunny skies, and relax, enjoy the flight, we'll get you on your way.
I must say, besides the sync delay, which we were apologized to countless times, everything else was going amazingly well, except for maybe one thing. But for now, flight attendants would be coming through the cabin with free snacks and drinks.
Thank you.
I'm not quite sure if Breeze is still giving complimentary items out to its passengers because they really aren't supposed to be free. But today we all received small water bottles, a caramel almond and sea salt granola bar, and a bag of potato chips. If you have flown Breeze recently, do let me know below, because I'm quite interested to know if Breeze now has a buy on board system or if they're still giving free stuff. So, now for that infamous lavatory. There are two on board, this being the problematic one in the back. It's definitely pretty roomy, as is usually the case on E-Jets. The decor is on the basic side, and I don't think Breeze really did anything to update this in general. But, as you can see, the sink has a lovely written out of order sign on it, with hand sanitizer to the right. The galley area does look a bit updated though, of course with new Breeze labeled carts being the most noticeable thing. And here is where I come to the one aspect of this flight I sorta had a problem with, and it had nothing to do with Breeze, but with my seatmate. As you can see, this flight was not full. There were plenty of empty seats in a 2-2 layout, especially around my area. But no, this guy had to park his butt right next to me. Seriously, you can move seats if nobody's sitting in them. So in my case, I moved.
South, and some thunderstorms to the south of Charleston should impact our route.
Well, with this announcement going on right now, we are on the descent into Charleston. One thing that really stood out to me on this plane in particular was the choice of carpet. I really like how even Breeze, with this extremely small detail, stands out from the rest. When it comes to Wi-Fi, there was none, but Breeze does plan on adding it soon. If you can tell from my review and what I've said, it's just so interesting flying a new startup because you really don't know what to expect much, especially when your only flight on them was a big special event. I was very pleased, and I'll conclude my thoughts on Breeze once we land into CHS. Going into this flight, I picked it for multiple reasons. 1. I had a credit on Breeze from a flight I canceled back in May and wanted to use it. 2. Eventually I was meeting family in New York City, and this was my first leg of the trip. 3. I wanted to try Breeze's E190 to see how it differs from their E195 product. And 4, and most importantly, I wanted to see how a normal experience on Breeze was like, and if the inaugural event was just a show trying to please us. I can honestly say that it wasn't. This was one of the best flights I've ever had in terms of customer service all the way around, from check-in to gate agents to flight attendants to pilots. Thoroughly enjoyed flying them again, specifically for that reason.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
The hard product on board is okay, it's definitely not their best and is already showing some wear and tear for some reason, but I have faith they'll continue to improve as time goes on. Definitely need to catch a ride on Breeze's A220 eventually, because that is their latest and greatest, but totally would recommend flying them if you had the option of choosing Breeze. Very much enjoy this flight. And that, folks, will conclude this Breeze flying experience. I will now be continuing this sort of ultra low-cost carrier series of videos with a flight up to Indianapolis to finish this day off. Hope you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching, and catch ya on the next one.